String. Welcome to Backstage with Amanda Martinez in the house. We'll be with you in just a moment. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Chris McCool from Sultans of String. Welcome to Backstage, brought to you through the help of Ontario Arts Council. This series runs many Fridays at noon EST, broadcasting live from Burlington, Ontario. And that countdown song was with Kevin Laliberté over here on guitar, Drew Burston on the bass. And in just a moment, we'll get to chat with our very special guest, Amanda Martinez. But first, we'd like to acknowledge and thank the many First Nations and the Métis, from the Anishinaabe to the Haudenosaunee to the Huron-Wendat, to the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation for allowing us to share their traditional lands on which we feel blessed to live, work, and play. And let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Hello, Takeshi and Amy, nice to see you. And Christine, hello. Christine is our wonderful social media manager and all around great gal to help us with all kinds of things. So great to have you here, Christine, and thanks for all the hard work you do. Now, Amanda is a Canadian singer-songwriter whose music is an original blend of influences from her Mexican and South African roots. She's released 4 albums, and her latest recording, Libre, is her most eclectic creation to date. Her songs have been selected for 4 Putumayo World Music Collections. She's headlined at the Blue Note Jazz Club in New York City, the FIFA World Cup in South Africa, the Pan American Games in Mexico and Canada. She's all over the place, and we're super excited to have her here. Please welcome to the Zoom room, Amanda Martinez. And, Amy, near Windsor, excellent. And Dawn, watching from Toronto. Nicole, so nice to have you here, Nicole. So, Amanda.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
This is really great. So, ever since we had you guest with us in a couple of live streams, I've been dying to have you here to do a whole show with us.
Aw.
Your new album, Libre, here I'm going to flash a shot of it, is such a beautiful album. It's really amazing. And of course, it's produced by none other than Kevin Laliberté, with your husband, an amazing bass playing husband, Drew Burston, over here on the album. And it's a really beautiful sound. You worked with so many special guests on it: Kelly Lee Evans, Alston Torres, Donnie Roberts, Pabloski Rosales, Guadalupe Urbina from Costa Rica. I was wondering, was the process different for making this album from your previous albums? Like, what was your vision when you were creating this record?
Yeah, well, this album, I guess it took place over a longer period of time, and we were able to take our time a little bit more with it. My previous albums, we would all go into the studio and record everything over just a few days, but this one, we recorded like in little pieces. And this is the first time that I worked with Kevin as my producer, and he knows me very well and kind of understands my sound too. So it was a really fun process. It was not that the other ones were painful or anything, but it was just we felt very comfortable working together, and yeah.
So was it a pandemic album, or you released it? You created it just before the pandemic hit?
Yeah, just before the pandemic,
okay.
and when we were supposed to have our U.S. little tour, that got shut down.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you find other ways of getting your music out in the last couple of years?
Yeah, well, I think a lot just through, the magic of the internet. That's been great, and people still being able to access it and doing a few live streams here and there. So yeah, that's been good too.
There's a lot of light and hopeful songs and love songs on the album. But I'm curious about this one. I think it might be my favorite, actually. We'll play a little bit of a clip, and then you can tell me about it.
Okay. Walking inside to find connection I've tried to hide. You'll see in me. Libérame del miedo a querer, a desandar, a ganar y perder. Libérame del miedo a querer.
That is an absolutely stunning song and an incredible video. Everyone should check that out on YouTube when this is over on Amanda's channel. So I was checking out the translation of the lyrics. You protected me with everything you gave me, and without realizing, I lost my freedom. And your look without words, a taste of judgment, tying my life to fear. So I was curious what elicited those lyrics in that song.
Well, I will not give everything away.
No.
but-
You don't have to say names.
No, but actually, when I went to go work with Kelly Lee, we had a lot of conversation about life and kind of our process growing up, and a lot of that fear that can prevent us from doing things is almost like coming from ourselves, and that part of ourselves that will hold us back. So yeah, I think that video kind of illustrates the music and the feeling of just freedom and freeing ourselves from that place of fear, really.
I think all of us musicians have to deal with that, eh?
Yeah.
It's like you have to get over yourself to be able to get out there.
Yeah.
I would love to play a song live here for our audience. You were mentioning a song, Alma Mia. Can you tell us what that is about?
Yeah, that's a song from my second album, Amor, and I wrote it when I was pregnant with my first son, Leo, and I didn't know, if I was having a boy or a girl or who was inside, but I just had this love that I felt already and this connection to this little being, and it ended up being a love song. We turned it into a love song that could be applied to all different kinds of love, but it was really initiated by that feeling of having this little being inside me.
Beautiful. And how old is that being right now?
That being, he's 13.
All right, well, hopefully he's tuning in to hear this. Here we go with Alma Mia.
1, 2, 3, 2. Pregunto al mar, ¿quién va a estar a mi lado? Respirando el amor que me da
su libertad en silencio, una ilusión o una verdad o una vida que me llama. El amanecer de la mañana sin probar tu amor, eres parte de mi corazón. Alma mía, cuántos días esperando a mi gran amor. ¿Quién borrará todo mi dolor? Dejando las nubes atrás, mi mundo se abrirá contigo. Una sonrisa, una mirada, un pájaro en vuelo, la luna en el cielo sin probar tu amor, eres parte de mi corazón. Alma mía, cuántos días esperando a mi gran amor. ¿Quién borrará todo mi dolor? Alma mía, no te pido más que este verdadero amor. ¿Quién borrará todo mi dolor? Alma mía, no te pido más que este verdadero amor. ¿Quién borrará todo mi dolor? Alma mía, cuántos días esperando a mi gran amor. ¿Quién borrará todo mi dolor?
Beautiful. What a beautiful song. And Nicole Duval. I was in Montreal just a couple of days ago. I was thinking of you. I ate bagels in your honor. Spanish is a beautiful language for song. And I'm curious, actually, that brings up a question. I was wondering, when you sing in different languages, you sing in English and Spanish and maybe others, does it evoke different emotions for you? Does it bring out different meanings of the lyrics if you sing it in Spanish versus English versus French?
Yeah, I think for me, when I sing in Spanish, I just access this different part of myself. I always say that I feel more like a gypsy, and it's just this kind of free, fiery feeling I have inside of me, and I just feel like it's very different when I'm singing in English. But I just feel like a freer person almost when I'm singing in Spanish. And it's funny because when I do acting as well, I love also accessing those characters that are from Latin America too.
What comes out in your singing or your songwriting when you sing in English then?
I think I'm a little bit more confined,
Yeah.
I'd say, when I'm singing in English, and just more literal. And I feel like in Spanish, there's just a bit of more. It's more poetic, more.
It is really much more romantic language.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question for you, but I'm going to play a little clip first. This is from a collaboration you did with Canada's ballet Jorgen. Check this out, people.
Él se caía esperando de más y al romper el día halló su cantar, su amor verdadero no escuchó jamás. Secreto de nuevo empezar. Estaba cayendo, estaba cayendo, estaba cayendo, estaba cayendo. Escribe en la tela.
That is so exceptional. I love seeing your music with that ballet. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the process of adapting your work with the ballet, and is there more to come?
Yeah, actually, that just gives me goosebumps watching because that was shot during the pandemic, and it was the first time that Adrian and Akari had worked together after a really long period of being isolated, and we were all like outside on the beach in Scarborough Bluffs. It was so
Which is a great spot.
Yeah, but it was amazing. We had written the song already, and then they worked with my friend Deborah Brown, who's an incredible choreographer, and kind of adapted what they were working with and created this piece. And so, yeah, it gave me the idea to do more with them, and I'm actually currently composing right now with Kevin and with Joné and Drew, and working on more pieces that the ballet Jorgen will be able to work with. So that's exciting too.
What is it about, how does it change the composition process if you're going to be ultimately doing it with the ballet?
I think just allowing more dynamic in the music and making sure that there are these different moments that the dancers can feed off. But right now it's more just about the overall feeling and intention of the song. But I think once we get to working with the dancers, it takes on a whole different process.
I really look forward to seeing more. It sounds like a really cool project. I'm wondering, so did you grow up with a lot of music in your house? Did you have a musical upbringing? Did you know you wanted to be a famous singer when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, I would spend a lot of time singing to my dolls in my bedroom and dressing up. And it was just like a secret fantasy because I was very shy and I never actually wanted to perform in front of people until high school. But I did really listen and have the opportunity to be fed lots of music from all over from my dad's record collection. He always had music playing in the house. Whether it was classical music or jazz or folkloric music or Nueva Trova from Cuba, and I feel like I just absorbed so much of that. And then when I went over the holidays, we would spend time in Mexico with my family there, and certainly was inspired by one of my cousins, Danny, who's an amazing composer, and he would always perform for the family, and I would always be very entranced by it, and his dad, my tío Elio. So the guitars always came out at family parties, and I think it just brought so much joy to me. And
I happen to know your three children, and they all play music now. I know Leo's very talented. Are we looking at the next Von Trapp family?
Yeah, no, I don't know about that, but Leo, yeah, he really loves playing piano and learning a little bit of jazz. And then Oliver and Sophia also are learning piano too and really enjoy it.
Have you figured out a way to get them, have you figured out a way to make a family band yet?
No, not quite, not yet.
Take it all on the road? Well, let's play another song. There's a song that you performed with us once in No One Sound, Que Bonita.
Yes, qué bonita es esta vida, which means how beautiful life is. And it's not one that I wrote, but one that I just fell in love with the lyrics, talking about all the simple things in life that are so beautiful. That first cup of coffee in the morning and the feeling of the sand beneath your toes, and the peaceful feeling of the mountains, and that even though life can be difficult, there's always someone out there that cares about you, and there's always tequila.
Ain't that the truth? All right, here we go.
Me gusta el olor que tiene la mañana, me gusta el primer traguito de café, sentir cuando el sol se asombra en mi ventana y me llena la mirada de un hermoso amanecer. Me gusta escuchar la paz de las montañas, mirar los colores del atardecer, sentir en mis pies la arena de la playa y los voces de la caña cuando beso a mi hombre. Sé que el tiempo lleva prisa para borrarme de la lista, pero yo le digo que ay, qué bonita es esta vida. Y aunque a veces duela tanto, a pesar de los pesares, siempre hay alguien que nos quiere, siempre hay alguien que nos cuida. Ay, 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 qué bonita es esta vida. Y aunque no sea para siempre, si la vivo con mi gente, es bonita hasta la muerte con canciones y tequila. Escuchar la voz de una guitarra, brindar a aquel amigo que se fue, sentir en mis pies la arena de la playa y los voces de la caña cuando beso a mi hombre. Sé que el tiempo lleva prisa, va a borrarme de la lista, pero yo le digo que ay, qué bonita es esta vida. Y aunque a veces duela tanto, a pesar de los pesares, siempre hay alguien que nos quiere, siempre hay alguien que nos cuida. Ay, 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 qué bonita es esta vida. Y aunque no sea para siempre, si la vivo con mi gente, es bonita hasta la muerte con canciones y tequila.
What a great tune. That does make me want to drink tequila. Ah, fantastic.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share about what you're working on? Maybe about your acting? Is there a place where we can hear your voice, if not see your face coming up soon?
Oh, well, actually, I've been working on 2 series. One of them is a very well-known show that's been around for generations called My Little Pony. And I played Queen Haven on that show. And coming up this fall, actually, I'll be part of a brand new series called Rosie's Rules. And it's about a little girl who is half Mexican, half American, and I play her grandmother, abuela, she calls for advice. Whenever she's looking for advice, she calls her abuela. And it's a beautiful show that's going to be on PBS this fall, so I feel very lucky to be doing that.
You've been all over my TV in the last couple of years. I've been diving into the archives there on Netflix, and I find you in all my favorite shows, Suits, Kim's Convenience. You're everywhere. So much fun. How do you balance the acting and the singing? Is there one that you prefer, or do you just kind of like, oh, well, now I've got a bunch of acting gigs, and oh, now I've got a bunch of music gigs? You just kind of like juggle them?
Yeah, well, for the acting, I mean, I haven't done anything that's where I'm producing my own, so those are all done through auditions. So, I'm always just, taking up the opportunities when I'm invited to come and audition, and then it's kind of up to the universe, what ends up landing there. And then for music, I feel like that's something that I've been able to work at in creating my own projects. And so I guess maybe there's a little bit more control there. But I've been lucky with just how it works out timing-wise.
Yeah.
that I'm available to do the acting when it comes up.
Amazing. Well, we'll look out for you on TV screens near us. Just before we wrap up, just to mention, we're going to be on for a whole bunch of Fridays in a row. Coming up next week, we've got Marito Max, who played percussion with us and a little thumb piano on our Refuge Sanctuary project. And after that, we've got Mariam Toller, who's going to be coming in with her qanun. It's a beautiful Arabic instrument, string instrument, and lots more. We've got a live in-person show in Toronto on June 4th, and that's really exciting for our Toronto viewers here. Come see us live at a folk series in Scarborough called Acoustic Harvest, and we're going to be performing with one of our Sanctuary guests, Saskia Tompkins. You know what? I'm not really supposed to play this video because it's still a secret, but I'm going to play just a few seconds of it so you can see her amazing nickel harpa. That's such a cool instrument, and if you have never seen it performed live, you got to come check it out. It's really cool. So why don't you play with the thank yous with that, some Mexican 6/8. Be sure to be following Amanda and at amandamartinez.ca. You can follow us, Sultans of String, at sultansofstring.com. If you've been watching on Facebook, you can hit that follow button. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, so you'll find out when we've got upcoming streams. And what else? People to thank, because it takes a village. Thanks to all our collaborators, especially Amanda Martinez for coming in today. Our admin team of Kevin, Lisa, Dave, Tanya, Christine, who's here with us today, Max, Eric. Our tech team of Katrina, John, Guillermo, Rick and Marianne Chester, the best friends a musician could ever have. Steve and Brent from Yamaha Canada, providing us with all these amazing electronics that we're using to make us sound so good. Fontana, CEN, and Proper. Ontario Arts Council for helping support this series. And of course, all of you for tuning in. Please share. And such a nice treat to see you all. Support Amanda, buy her music, amplify her voice, and let's play a little bit of music here as we go out. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week.